Hello, Comrade. Welcome back to Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. In the last episode, we built a brand new city, a brand new area, a university town. Universigrad was born. Indeed it was, and we made a medical university, which has now fully staffed. We're still working on getting professors. In the gap between the episodes, I moved a bunch of educated people into this building. There's still not a great number here. I can change things around. I probably will end up doing that in a little bit, but for now it's fine. I think we're in an okay situation. The one thing about Universigrad that I'm not super happy about at present is the fact that there are no amenities for the few people that do actually live here. So we've got 150 people in this flat. I also, just as an experiment, transferred a bunch of people into the university halls of residence. So it turns out that if you move just regular people into the university halls of residence, I do believe that they automatically just all become students. So 48 citizens were unable to get to it. Yeah, okay, so none of that actually matters. They're all technically able to go to the university, I believe, to study. So it just means that it's a slightly shorter walk between the university than taking the train. Then walking to the train station and then taking the train all the way across to Universigrad. But it's fine. Most of the students should still be bussed in, I would imagine, or trained in. Yeah, there's 75 students waiting, but no big deal. We've moved a couple of them across to here. Well, what are we doing in this episode? Let's talk about the future, not about the past. Now, in today's episode, I have one mission and one mission alone. And that is alcohol production. One of the most fundamental parts of life in any Soviet republic is a good supply of booze. Now, what type of booze that is, I'm not entirely sure. And at the end of the day, I'm not sure it even matters to some extent. Let's have a look at what we actually need in order to get booze. Well, we need a pub in order to distribute the booze to the people. And we need a distillery. Distillery is going to cost us 44,500 rubles, which is fine. Maximum numbers of workers per day is 100, and it seems to just consume power and crops. Now, you may note about crops. We do have some crops coming in. The crops are stored here. We do have some crops coming in, but I don't think that we have anywhere near enough to say, hey, we're in a good position. I'm just sort of thinking, like, we might need to up our crop production if we're going to want to get booze production sorted. It does look, however, that we've got the right number of, mechanisms and machines and all of that nonsense. We've got the right number for this farm right here, the agro farm right here. So I'm thinking that we might need to try and expand our crop business, our crop fields, in order to get more crops for booze, to be honest, because that's what we kind of want. In fact, that's really what we want. Where can the distillery go? I mean, we can place the distillery now. Ideally, I want it to be connected to the food silo. Although, can the food silo be connected to something else? It doesn't look like it can be. So that's potentially a bit of a problem. And we can't store crops. Oh, we can store crops in the warehouse. But the grain storage is much more useful. Okay, so we could ditch this and get ourselves a warehouse. I mean, alternatively, we can just set up a new bespoke production line for booze, but I kind of want it to be over here because we've already got the basic infrastructure in place. What I'm feeling like we might eventually graduate to doing, we might ditch this crop field and then put a warehouse in here because warehouses give us access to more factory connections, which means that we can have this one coming out like this into the food unit, and this coming up like that into a distillery, which will be here. Does that even make the slightest bit of sense? To be honest, I couldn't even tell you. Do we want to just go ahead and do that now? I mean, it's going to be a little bit of an expensive endeavor. and we're going to have to ditch that field as well, so I'm not super keen on doing that right now. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it right now. I'm humming and ham, but I should just do it. Let's wait until the day to do it. So that will give me a little bit of an opportunity to talk through some of the other plans that I have had about how we increase our crop production. Now, I was thinking that we're going to need to try and go over the river and find somewhere else where we can grow crops. Now, this area is not super ideal for crops, but it's not too bad. It's reasonably flat. This area over here is not very flat, so I was thinking maybe, just maybe, we could set up an agro farm over here, another agro farm over there. Ideally, in the long run, we want to probably progress to this area and maybe get 1, 2, 3, 4 agro farms, you know, maybe even a 5th one over there. We want to do that, and we probably want to sort of tie it all together with some sort of a train network, I would imagine. However, I don't think that we really want to invest in any more rail infrastructure at the moment. It's, you know, it's expensive, it's cumbersome. It's going to take us a while to do. I want to absolutely make sure that this is empty before we demolish it. But yeah, that's what I was sort of thinking. At the moment, though, I think we probably just want to try our very best to get all of the crop transportation done via truck. So we'll pretty much do exactly what we've done over here. We'll have as many fields as we do now, maybe slightly fewer but slightly larger fields. Let's pause the game and enact my revolution. Yeah, so we'll pause the game and we will put out a brand new design of fields, brand new area filled with fields and whatnot, all of that sorted. And then what we'll do is we will transport the resources to this warehouse, which we are about to place down. Hopefully it'll work. Let's have a little look. Warehouse, will it fit in sort of just by default, or will I have to move stuff around? I think I'm going to have to trash this field. And it's annoying, but it is what it is, right? Trash it. There we go. Get rid of that. And then trash this, trash that, trash that. Perfect. Warehouse. It's not super ideal, but it is gonna work just fine. If I could leave just enough space for a rail connection to be put in here, if that's what we want to do down the line, then that would be perfect. Right, let's flatten this out. Perfect. Let's make sure that the factory connections all work. That's looking good. We'll place the distillery right now, because there's no reason not to. I mean, the only reason not to would be if we had a shortage of money, but we don't particularly have a shortage of money right now. So we can be somewhat open about our plans. Don't love this, but don't mind it. What I would ideally want to do is try and get a factory connection between this warehouse over here and also this warehouse over here. I'm not sure if that's going to be possible, though, because we need something like that. I mean, let's give this a shot. Let's see if this works, because if we can make it work so there's a connection to both warehouses simultaneously, that would be joyous. Must go directly from... Oh, alright. Perfect. Alright, that was remarkably simple and actually helps us out a great deal. Okay, we also need to get a connection up. Oh, no. No, no. No, why would you do this to me, game? Right. Demolish that. Don't even start. Okay, now let's try again. Okay, we had it. We were so close to having it. I can't believe it. Okay. Right. See if that makes any difference. That looks good. That looks good. And that looks good. Okay. 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 It's fine. Crisis averted. It still works. It's going to be a little bit annoying. I don't think footpaths can go over the factory connections. Yeah, so we're going to have to find some way to get workers round to this area. Yeah, don't love that. Don't love that issue. I mean... Yeah, I don't think we can do it with a bridge, can we? I don't think footpaths can be bridged. No, footpaths definitely cannot be bridged. Okay, but there you go. That's our distillery. View buildings that can be reached on foot. Yeah, not many. That's not a surprise. 38 meters over there. Yeah, let's have a little look. See if we can maybe make a road... like here somewhere. I don't know. I don't like making a road for the sole benefit of having people walk over it, but if that's what needs must, then needs must, eh? It's going to be a fairly steep bridge. I also don't like how the game is not paused and we can't deal with this. Okay, yeah, let's just boot this problem down the road for a little bit. It's not something that we particularly need to deal with right now. What we do need to deal with right now is a road connection for this factory. And that might end up being our Achilles heel. In fact, yes, it might genuinely end up being a real problem. There's no reason, there is absolutely no reason why this factory couldn't have gone round the other way. But I, like an idiot, placed it this way. Yeah, we need the road connection to be over here, because otherwise trucks aren't going to be able to make deliveries to it. That is so darned annoying. This is why I want to build my own stuff. This is why I want a production process like can be controlled by me from like start to finish. Because if I do that, then it means that I can spot these mistakes, hopefully, earlier than they occur. Okay, so that goes there for sure. Do the factory connections work? Make it so. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Okay, after spending about twice the amount of money that I actually needed to, we are finally sorted. Okay, now, does that make it any easier to connect to a footpath? Not particularly. It's really annoying how workers cannot just move over this factory connection. Very, very irritating, in fact. Yeah. In fact, the most annoying thing. Okay, delete this little footpath here in the hope that we can set up a bit of a bridge, because I think that doing a bridge over here is probably the only way that we're gonna... I don't even know how we're gonna get workers over here. Maybe we just drop them off directly, to be honest. Maybe that's the best solution that we got. Sure, there we go. We'll build a brand new bespoke road. No, so there is no connectivity to this bus station over there. There's probably a better way of making this bus station work, but that is a problem for a future potato, right? The problem that faces us right now is how do we make sure that this warehouse is constantly getting food? Hold up. Why are we getting food sent over here? Right, that could be a problem. That could be a real problem. Yeah. Is there any way that I can specify where I want the resources to be exported? Because I think that they're going to be split evenly, maybe? Ah, okay, hold on. We can do this. We can store 0 food. And that will mean that the food will all be exported out that way. Okay, we've only got 2 tons of food in here, but that's fine. That's great. Happy days. It's literally just going to be crops that are stored in here, so we might as well just bump that up to 100% anyway. Perfect. Great. Okay, that ends up solving our problem remarkably simply. Food and alcohol both going to be both going to be exported into that warehouse, because then that means that that can be our delivery point for, well, all of these trucks that we've got coming through here. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is working really, really nicely. Okay, next stage next. We're going to need to cross the river. We're going to need to cross the river, and Potatograd has grown into a very, very large, sprawling town. But it's grown into a town that is not surrounded by much flat ground. You know, I'm looking again at the ground around here, and I'm thinking that this might be the flattest area that we've got, sort of within driving distance. Sure, there is this area. In fact, you know what? This area and this area over here, I would imagine, in time, will both become crop fields. The great thing about crop fields, is that they are literally free to place, which is just glorious. Okay. Let's get a couple of these bad boys down in the flattest orientation possible. Okay. And I've learned from the comments. Everyone says that workers are not required in the field at any point. They don't speed things up. Not sure how true that actually is, but I'm told reliably that that is the case. Oh, come on. Alright, you know what? If we can't do any more big fields, that's not actually a problem. I mean, we're just going to have loads and loads of medium fields. How many fields have we got over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 fields. Okay, so 10 fields, and we had 11 actually before we deleted the other one. Okay, swing that around. Perfect. As long as we end up with something which is reasonably good looking, I'll be happy. Okay, that's looking good. Fit another field in over here. Nope. Close, but no biscuit. There we go. That's got to be, it's got to be close to 10, right? Right. I like this. I like this a lot. And then right in the center, we're going to place an agro farm. Now, do we want to export to a grain storage? We can export to a grain storage, but will that allow us to connect to a road cargo station? That will allow us to connect to a road cargo station, which I think is actually what we want. So, as a first port of call, let's place down the road cargo station. Next, let's put down a grain storage. I suspect that it's probable that the lorries could collect from the silo directly. However, we're going to have a lot of traffic coming out of this road cargo station. And then that goes... Oh, that goes there. Perfect. Okay, so let's make sure that we can connect everything up adequately with factory connections. That looks absolutely grand to me. Okay, let's get that built up. These farms should all automatically assign themselves to this agro farm. And then we can begin the process of building a whole bunch of gravel roads between all of these fields. Of which there is definitely round about 10. Yep, for sure. Definitely haven't messed that number up. No siree. Definitely not. Okay, we're also going to need to make sure that we have a... We're also going to need to make sure that we have a connection to this area via road. And I don't even know where the connection is going to come from. But hey-ho. Okay, so this is looking pretty darn good. Have all the fields been assigned? Auto search. Oh, look at that. That's really, really cool. That is perfect. I mean, I know that there are no roads connecting any of them yet, but it's pretty darn good looking if you ask me. Okay, let's do this whilst it's all paused. We'll try and have one big sort of central route. There we go. Looking good. Looking very, very nice. And then we can bring this road around here and across there. Perfect. Okay, that's looking really, really good. Fits perfectly. Fits perfectly. Zero issues with roads so far. I don't want to jinx it, but so far, it's been pretty good. The great thing about doing it kind of like this is that it leaves us a lot of space to, first of all, build roads, which is actually quite an important thing to do. But it also gives us ample room to build a lot more fields if we want to. You know, at a slightly further distance as well. That can go over there. And that can come down there like that. Okay, so with that, I think that that is all of our fields connected, right? Yep, pretty much. And I don't believe that we actually need any workers over here. Okay, so auto search, 1,000. No tractors available to plant seeds. I mean, do I need to buy some tractors before? Ah, look, there we go. It's worked. It's found all the fields, which is wonderful. That's great. So now we need to try and look at our ratio of tractors that we've got over here and mechanisms, because I think it actually works quite nice. So let's buy 4 tractors. 4 tractors. 3 harvesters. 3 lorries. Articulated lorries. And 2 Matador harvesters, which we can buy with American dollars. Alright, that's looking pretty darn good. Now, it says that the building is without power. Does it actually need power in order to work? It's without a power supply. I mean, I know it's without a power supply, but that really shouldn't stop the trucks from going out and doing what they need to do. Speaking of, let's try and connect up the road network before we do start complaining too much. I'd like to get a very, very fast bridge here. Prefab bridge. To go over this... to go over this little area here. Come on. Can't build due to pillars? Whoa, 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 why? I mean, I know the easiest response is just to, you know, make all of this higher, but I don't really want to do that because that's going to cost me money, and I don't want to endure that cost. But you know what? I'm going to endure that cost for the sake of time and the sake of ease and not having to worry about things. Right. Make it literally as high as possible. Literally as high as possible. And then down. Alright, fine. It's a pretty simple process, I gotta be honest. Okay, road can come through here. In fact, the road should probably go through the pillars first, because that's one of the more difficult bits to organize. Just like that. And like that. Okay, perfect. Now let's get a lovely, lovely bridge. Concrete bridge. Sure, how much is this going to cost us? $38,000. Angle of connection is too sharp. I mean, I don't like that attitude. I want a lovely long bridge. 56,000. You know, 48,000 rubles seems like a very appropriate amount of money. Let me pause the build just to make sure that we can connect both ends up to the areas that we want to connect up to. Perfect. What do you know? All right. That's great. So, does this area still need power? No, it does not actually need power. Great. I'm very, very happy that it doesn't need power, because if it did need power, then that would be another extra pain. Another extra pain. Another extra pain? No, another extra thing to add to the list. And I'm not particularly sure that it's really necessary for the activities that are undertaken over here, but hey-ho. Anyway, let's make sure that there is some road connections. Sure, I'll do that, I guess, maybe. Okay, perfect. So, the grain storage is going to feed into the road cargo station, and it's worth noting. This, by the way, is going to be renamed to Comrade. There's probably a Grainrad? Graingrad. There's probably a fairly consistent naming scheme that you're starting to see right about now. Also, that would be a good page to look at, actually, wouldn't it? We are making a bunch of money. We are making a bunch of money. It really is very, very good. Okay, also, let me place down just a couple more fields. I feel like we could do slightly better. There's no reason, by the way, that these roads need to be gravel. I don't know why in my mind I've got it that we have to have gravel roads. Mud roads would be perfectly acceptable. There we go. This is far more than 10 farms now, but I feel like this is a extra special agro farm and is going to be more than capable of dealing with all of the demands. And besides, I mean, how can it not be, right? The tractors just do as they're told. It all happens automatically. I really like the farming aspect of this game. It's really, really nice. It's just easy. You don't need to think about it. Right. Small field, another small field. Beautiful. Okay, can we literally fit any more small fields in anywhere? Don't think so. Don't think so whatsoever. Right, mud roads. Mud roads, I have learnt, are the way to go. Is that a mud road connection? The problem with mud road connections is that it is bloomin' difficult to see where they go. Too big a climb uphill? Alright. Are mud roads free? I think they actually are free. Alright, so we should have a bunch of tractors now that are just going to go around Graingrad, and they're going to start harvesting, or sorry, start sowing, and then we're going to have the harvesters, which are going to start harvesting. Man, what do you know? That looks so good, actually. That looks really, really nice. Okay, that's perfect. Now, the only thing that remains for us to do is set up a transportation link. Also, I know I need to fix this. I don't really want to, though. I need to set up a transport link between here and here. Ooh, actually, that's a very good point. I didn't necessarily need to turn this warehouse around because there's a very, very good chance. There's a very, very good chance that we could just stick in a road system right here. What do you call it? A road cargo station. That might just be the best thing for us right now, to be honest. It's going to have to go just like so. Let's give it another crack. Yeah, I really wish that wouldn't be that specific. Come on. I feel like come on. You gotta roll with the punches sometimes, game. Come on. The crazy thing is that if I had left the warehouse oriented in the other direction, then it would be fine right now. I mean, it still will be fine. It's just going to be a little bit annoying to delete some of this road network and then replace it. It really should be replaced with mud roads so that I don't have to keep on making these expensive mistakes. Really? Come on. Why is there always infrastructure in the way? Ah, come on. How much space do you need to give these bloomin' buildings? Alright. That says it will work. I'll believe it when I see it. That does actually work. Okay. Now, can I build the road network around this? That can be gravel. That's fine. It's also 60 kilometers per hour, so I don't love the fact that it's only gravel there, but hey-ho. Okay. Now that is no good. That is absolutely no good. That needs to be able to connect up. For sure. No. No. No, 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 no. Okay, do that. That works. Okay, great. Okay, so we don't actually end up with any reduction of service, of capability, anything like that. It'll just work for us. Okay, good. And we replaced it with mud road as well, which is great. There is a strong case, I think, for upgrading this road to asphalt. In fact, I think that that's probably what we're going to try and do. Only the bits that actually form a connection between our points of delivery. Wonderful. This upgrading process is actually relatively smooth. I'm kind of shocked, actually. Alright, great, but that will form... I mean, this is literally the core of our delivery. A delivery network, so this is going to be great. Perfect. 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 If we can go top speed all the way along from one end of the delivery route to the next end of the delivery route, then that would be perfect. Grand. And just like that, we've upgraded all of our asphalt network. So that's going to be 110 miles per hour, which is going to be great. Now, let's have a little look at getting some trucks to take the crops from one end to the other end. I think it's... Well, it's not dumpers. I think it's... Is it open hull? Is it open hull or is it covered hull? I think it might be covered hull. Yeah, it's covered hull for the crops. So you go at 70 miles an hour. You go at 62 miles an hour. You carry slightly less, but you do it faster. You carry nothing. 0.8 tons of crops. None of these trucks go particularly fast. Could my friends in, you know, another Soviet republic nearby, could they come up with... a brand new truck to suit my needs? That would be really ideal, to be honest. Okay, let's set it up. So I would like you to take from this road cargo station, load 100% of anything. That's absolutely going to be changing. So it's going to be load food, 100%. Wait until loaded, absolutely. And then unload 100% of anything. And then wait until unloaded. Perfect. So just like that, we're ready to copy this truck's orders to everyone else. And then I wish there was a button that I just clicked and dispatched them all at the same time. But there is not. So I'm going to need to do it manually. Okay, start, start. Delete, delete. Start and start. Alright, looking good. And you know what's great? Throughout the entirety of this episode, we've never really dipped behind, or never really dipped below $200,000, which is, or 200,000 rubles, should I say, which is pretty darn nice. We've still got a steel train waiting for resources. It looks like coal is the primary problem at the moment. I think that we've successfully... Yeah, we've successfully delivered all of the iron that was floating around there. Which is great, which is lovely. We've got a lot of iron that is stored in the large aggregate storage at the moment, so that's also great. However, we do need more coal, so what I'm thinking that we can probably do... Where are you coming from? You've got 12 tons of iron. How have you still got iron coming in? How is there still iron coming in here? Where's my truck? Oh, this is... Oh, it's trying to unload there. Okay. Okay, hold on. Go here. Unload 100% of anything. Go there. Try going there. Because I'm thinking that what we can do is that the trucks that are currently trying to faff around over here, let's just change it up a little bit. Well, first of all, I'm going to get you to go to the depot because it's going to be much easier to send you to a depot and then deal with things. Right, you can go to the depot as well. This is just whilst we're waiting for crops to grow. We might as well try and fix a couple of problems. Go to the depot. We've done too good a job. Okay, that's 4 trucks that we're sending to the depot, which are all going to be reassigned to the coal to the steel mill route. Or should I say the coal to the aggregate storage route. Because at the moment, we just seemingly are not getting anywhere near enough coal, which is the big problem. But this whole process is actually looking pretty darn good. It's looking pretty darn good. We're not getting that much steel, but steel is worth more, so we don't actually need to worry about it that much. 12 tons of coal. Perfect. Ah, one more truck. I've spotted another truck. Oh, this was the truck that I had to help out earlier. There we go. Go to the depot. Perfect. I can already see a couple of trucks coming down in. I did sort of talk a little bit about this earlier in the episode, but I don't even want to think about it right now. I don't even want to think about it even slightly. Also, our oil is doing remarkably well. It's keeping us well supplied throughout this process. Oh, look at this. Students waiting for professors, research, chemicals is being researched, medical university is going fantastically. We can place down the Communist Party headquarters as well, which apparently doesn't do anything, but is apparently pretty darn glorious, which is what I'm looking for. Still have a lot of tractors sowing, but we've also got a couple of fields growing. And I must say, they are very, very large. Very, very large fields indeed. So we're going to get much more bang for our buck. We've got 4 large fields over here, as opposed to just 1, 2, 3 large fields over there. We definitely have got more fields over here. It's also, I think, maybe a slightly more compact setup that we've got over there. We've certainly learned from our mistakes over in this area, i.e., with the road building and building too many fields and whatnot. Just don't want to faff around with that. Can we maybe see if we can stick another field in here? I said that I'd learned from my mistakes, but I absolutely haven't. No, I can't make it fit because of my mistakes. But that's looking pretty darn good. That setup's working pretty darn well. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. Yes. We should be ready, by the way, to take a whole bunch of deliveries over here. So are we, what? Oh. Those 2 trucks are affectionate, apparently. But they should all just be waiting around for crops to be loaded in, which is wonderful. It's going to be a little while before that actually gets started. As I noted earlier, we need to wait until at least the first field is fully grown. So that'll be medium field 2. Or maybe medium field 9, whatever the case, it doesn't actually matter in the grand scheme of things. But that will chug away, and as that chugs on, I'm sure we will eventually see a little bit of an uptake over here. We haven't started with the distillery yet. There are no workers. Is there power? There is surprisingly power. We could start turning that into alcohol right away, although I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that, given the fact that we can barely supply enough food at the moment to make people happy. Yeah, that's barely the case. So instead of that, let's try and maybe slightly just optimize our steel production just a little bit. What I would like to do is delete both of these orders on all of the trucks, and then I'd like to set that as the pickup point, load 100% of anything. And then I would like you to unload to here. Unload 100% of anything. Whoa. And then we're going to copy this schedule across all of the other vehicles. And then we're going to start them all off. Here we go. I'm quite conscious of the fact that this may just be a short-term solution. I was having a little look before we started recording, and I thought, you know what I really could do? I could put like a train loading area in here. Now that would of course be a massive pain to organize. Sorry, not a train loading. Sorry, a train aggregate loading. Yes, a train aggregate loading, because that will load coal ore. Now I could stick that in there like so. And if I did do that, then the idea would be, oh, I can put some track connecting up to here, and then we'll drive it up the train up this way, and then, you know, I can just connect that rail track directly right over there. You know, that might not be the worst thing in the world to do, but it's also just not something that I'm super keen on doing this episode. Maybe in the next episode. I'd like to know your opinion. What do you think I should do? Because at the moment, I'm investing a lot of truck time. I'm investing a lot of truck time just in terms of transportation alone in getting the resources from this area to this area, and it could be done with a train much more easily. It kind of makes sense that all of the iron comes directly in, but it could be done. It could be done via train, and I'm conscious of the fact that it could be done a lot quicker and a lot smoother. Also, it looks like the train system is working a lot better than it ever has before. Yeah, it looks pretty darn nice. Nothing to complain about there. I mean, I know there's still hundreds of people waiting on the platform, but hey ho, what can you do? It's looking very nice indeed. Man, I'm just really happy with the way that the food's turning out. I'm disappointed that we've not managed to brew an ounce of alcohol as of yet, but you know what? That's going to happen. It's going to happen very, very soon indeed. So, the bus stop. How are we going to deal with this bus stop? Well, maybe the way to do this... Where do you pick up from? This bus picks up from bus platform 3 in the center of town. How many workers are here? Not many workers, I'll tell you that for free. Not many workers at all. What about linking the train station up? Can we take people from the train station? So if I was to do... Come on. Start end of road? Really? How am I ever going to cross this bit of track? That is a miracle how I'm able to cross the track there, but not over here. Whatever the case, what I was thinking of maybe doing was picking people up from the train station with a bus and transporting them directly to where they need to go. I think that might actually be quite a nice idea. Let me get the brand new bus, this bad boy. And let's set it up so we can take just workers, literally just workers, please, and workers that are not educated, presumably. I don't know who works in the distillery, but I'm pretty sure it's not a university degree sort of job. I mean, there's a lot of science that goes into brewing, but this is like vodka brewing. Let's be real. Just need a potato, some sugar, fermenting agent, yeast, I think. Fact check that, please. Anyone got any good recipes for vodka? I'm all ears. The point is that I don't know. The point is that I don't know. That is to be honest the main point that you should take away from all of the video games that I play. Oh, look at this. We're almost 400,000 rubles richer than someone who has no money. I was going to say than we were at the start of the game, but you know, we had about 400,000 rubles at the start of the game, but and now we've also got 400,000 rubles. Is this system working any better? It's a little bit more coal that's coming in. You know what? I'm thinking that maybe we need to get a train set up. Because this system, as well-intentioned as it actually is, just is not cutting it. Just isn't cutting it. We're just not getting anywhere near enough coal in. And it's just taking far too long. But that's okay. That's okay. That's not a problem. Where did the buses go to? The buses are going to the distillery directly. Great. Alright. Let's see if this actually works. These buses are going to be driving off-road on a little bit of mud road. Don't love that, but it's fine. I also love how you can pick people up from the train station with a bus. I think that's such a great feature. Okay, 82 people. Now this can only handle 100 workers, but I think that's fine. I do wish I could make walkways. That would be a really nice way to go about doing things. Some other infrastructure is in the way, but it's imaginary infrastructure. It's totally imaginary infrastructure. Ugh. Why does it say max speed for cars? Walking speed is 112%, but it's only 60% on mud footpaths. Understandable. But a tragic story nonetheless. Right, what is this? What are you doing? I was waiting to say, you can't be coming to the delivery stop because we don't have any of these trucks delivering there. Okay, look at this. This bus is off-roading. Can you imagine? Can you imagine doing this? Quite literally bonkers. Alright, but 82 workers coming into the distillery. Have we got any food stored up over here? We do, actually. Or, sorry, any crops. Crops and food, to me, are almost indistinguishable, but hey-ho. We got power. We got everything ready to go. Let's just get the workers in, and then we should just start producing alcohol. What do you know? That simple. Now, the problem that we're probably going to run into is... Well, first of all, where are we storing the alcohol? Missing resources crops. Yeah, I know. However... seems that the alcohol just disappeared. Unless it was loaded into a truck, was it? It was. It was loaded into a truck. Okay, that's actually fine. In fact, no, it's actually not fine. That is actually not fine at all. Okay, only load food, please. Just don't load alcohol. Okay, so you only load food up. Because we cannot have this. We cannot have it not loading, or we cannot have it loading alcohol because alcohol needs to go to a different place. Also, I really want to get clothes production set up, and I also really want to get meat production set up. Right, you need to only load food. That way, if we're only loading food, we can't load up any alcohol, which is great. Perfect. Right, wonderful. Okay, perfect. And as you can see, we are actually building up a little bit of a backlog of alcohol. Why is the power so inconsistent? Is it because we're using all of the 10 megawatts of power on production of alcohol? Turns out, that's what we might actually legitimately be doing. I don't love that. I don't love that. Probably needs to be fixed. Yeah, we've only got a little cable over here. Let's see if we can upgrade that, because I wanted to get some... I want to get big booze production, you know? Where the heck does this wiring go? I cannot even begin to imagine how... Crossing not allowed? No, I know, but I want to upgrade. Can I upgrade the wires, or is that not a thing that I can do? If it's not a thing that I can do, then we're going to have to wait until morning before I can deconstruct all of the wires and then reconstruct them all. Because boy oh boy, it's difficult to see at the best of times. It looks like the voltage is just too much to produce alcohol. Missing resources, crops, and power? Look at this. Look at this. It's ridiculous. Also, I'm thinking that probably one bus will be more than enough. But you know what? Sure, let's have 2 buses. I want to reinforce the importance of alcohol production. Have any of the fields finished growing? No, none of them have. And presumably they only grow during the day, from like a certain point to another certain point. Maybe not even that. Alright, great, they are growing. Lovely, wonderful. It's happening. It is happening, but it's happening very, very slowly. Well, that's fine with me. Okay, let's take a little bit of time to completely do over this. Okay. How far back does it go? It goes back to here. Alright. That's totally doable. There we go. Just like this. Bring it back just a smidge. Oh, this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. Okay, where do we need to go? We need to go to, like, here. Yeah. And then to there. Okay, that actually worked out slightly smoother than I anticipated. But does that give us a bit more consistent power production? Looks good to me. Looks very, very good to me, in fact. Right, that's great. That's why we should always use the best power cables that we possibly can. Okay, so throughout this time, we've continued to get a bunch more alcohol, which is lovely. And as such, we're going to try and start delivering that alcohol. Is covered hull the best way to do it? Maybe. In fact, it's the only way to do it, I think. 6.5 tons of alcohol. I think 6.5 tons of alcohol. Yeah, 6.5 tons of alcohol is probably fine. So, first of all, boom, right there. Load 100% of alcohol. Literally just alcohol, please. Nothing else. We don't want to wait until loaded, because otherwise we'll get a massive backlog, and I don't want to deal with this. This warehouse could easily transition into a, cargo road station or whatever, but at the moment it doesn't actually need to. Okay. So, then we will go to the... actually, hold up. We need to find the pubs first. That's a pub, isn't it? Yeah, so that's the Petrograd pub. We've got one pub there. Second pub here, or third pub there. And then there's another pub there. There's no pub in the... shopping center. Which is great. That's fine. And then there is also a pub at the back. Okay, so this is kind of unique, actually, because all of the pubs are going to need to get deliveries of alcohol in equal quantities. So what we're going to need to do is... Can I click on... Oh, I can't click on that. Okay. We'll go here... Here, here, and then here. Okay, perfect. Petrograd pub 2, blah, 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 blah. Close all this, don't need it. Point is that we will unload here, unload here, unload there, unload there. All of it will be... Okay, so that'll be unload 25%. Okay, can I not do anything less than that? Okay, fine, 29%. It's either 20% or 19%. Probably better that we make it 19%, actually. Then we want to unload 30%. And then we want to unload 50%. And then we want to unload 100%. Right? So we unload 20% first. That takes it down to 75% total capacity. Then we unload a third of that 75 capacity, which is like 25% or something. Then we unload 50% of the remaining percent, and then we unload 100% of everything. Is that the way that it works, or is that not the way that it works? I don't know. I would very much like a fact check on that, if at all possible. But if not, then, you know, we're gonna leave it like this and hope that it works. But that should be us, actually. That should be us for alcohol production. It seems like it's going fairly swimmingly, to be honest. It is at the expense of food at the moment. Food production is not overwhelmingly great. But food production will be sorted as soon as these fields have finished growing. And once they've finished growing, it is going to be oh so excellent. It is going to be fantastic. The tractors are midway through sowing 4 fields at the moment, so that's great. Anyway, ladies and gents, we're going to end this episode right here. Fully confident in the knowledge that we actually were successful. This guy has got alcohol in his truck. That's the annoying chap that took the alcohol before I could change things around. Darn you canvas truck who's going to carry that alcohol probably for the rest of his time in this game. But hey ho. Right, let's see our alcohol get unloaded and loaded up into the truck. Beautiful. Look at that. How is that only 1,500 rubles? 6.5 tons of alcohol for 2,000 rubles? That is a darn steal, if you ask me. All right, so you're gonna come along here. You're gonna deliver to the pubs. Wonderful. This is the alcohol truck. This is the truck that people would probably, you know, try and rob if they could in this video game. All right, so pub 3 unload 19%. So if it unloads 19%, then it should... Yep, so that's about, what, 1.5 tons? It's about 1.5 tons for every place that we're going. Unload 39%, it should be another 1.5 tons, so down to about... Ooh, actually, that's not... That was a bit more. Bit more than anticipated. So I'm thinking that it might be another calculation. It might be... not what the current stock on the truck actually is. Yeah, okay, that needs to change. So unload 19%, unload 19%, unload 100%. But it'll actually be like 29%. Okay, that actually is a little bit better. In fact, you know what? We'll leave it at 19%. So every stop gets 19% of the alcohol on the truck. And that will work just a little smidgen better. Anyway, ladies and gents, as it falls to dusk, it only remains for me to say thank you very much for watching. My name, of course, has been Open Potato. This has been Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. I'll see you next time. Bye.